Hey guys, it's Kristen. Okay, so today is the 27th February 2023. So I have I guess a little embarrassing story about like the necklace that I was working on with my video. So I was finishing that up after I was done with the video, and I have one side left, and for some reason it was just too hard to get the wire cut or part of the necklace cut. So whenever I put put it on, it wouldn't scratch me. And I could not get the little tiny piece cut or try to bend it the right way. So I worked probably an hour on doing this, and about 2 days later, I started having like extreme the extreme like wrist pain, and my thumb was like blue and swollen, and I could barely like put pressure on it. And so I either I think I twisted it. I may have maybe like sprained it a tiny bit, but I at least twisted it. So let me fix my mic real quick. I don't know it's just I don't want it sticking out like that. Sorry. So yeah, I just hurt my wrist. And so I need to find something, I guess, different to put those rocks on to make a necklace. So I'm trying to figure that out. I really wanted to have that done, but I didn't get it done, unfortunately. And the last 2 weeks, my youngest son, Wolf, has been sick. He's been on antibiotics. Well, not really sick, like contagious sick, but he's got like an ear infection or something. He's actually been on antibiotics for about 3 weeks now. And then whatever he got, I got sick. So I was sick for about 2 weeks. I still kind of have it, but I think now it's more like allergies, because this is the time in Oklahoma where the lovely allergies come out, and it's not fun and it sucks. So yeah, I can't tell if it's still sickness or if it's allergies, but either way, yeah, that's all been going on. And I'm by myself right now, and my car is finally getting fixed for me backing up. Yeah, so that's getting fixed, and thank you to my dad for letting me borrow his car, which was actually my first car that I got, which is 2010 Honda. And it's weird to be driving it because I don't know, it just feels like I'm going back in time. I don't know, it's weird, but yeah, so that's getting fixed. So I just have been having to do different things. Last week, I finally went back to the gym, and I went every single day except for one day because I was feeling kind of unwell, but I needed rest. I'm starting to learn to listen to my body and try to not be so stubborn with myself. And I'm still going forward and working on getting off Suboxone. That's been hard. I'm really right in between the point of I'm on a very, very low dose where I can't tell if me taking my medicine is causing me to go through consistent withdrawals during the day, or if it's my body getting not used to being on such a low dose, because being in pain management for almost 10 years, that's going to mess a lot of things up in your body with taking pain medicine for that long and every day. So I kind of at a crossroads on what I need to do here, but I'm not really gonna make a full decision on that yet. I'm still just gonna keep going because I'm telling you, excuse me, I have been just like, I will go do, I'd say, I'm not even kidding, I'll go do some laundry or go do the dishes, and I'm just sweating. It's just sweating. It's just not something you should, or just even going and go get groceries. I'm just walking in the cart, getting some stuff, not doing a whole lot of moving around. And I am just sweating, like just, and I look like, I look like almost like I'm a drug addict because I am just drenched in sweat. And I'm not kidding you. I was getting ready. I did my hair real quick, put my makeup on, was getting all of this ready and everything else. And I had to sit here for about 5 minutes doing this because I'm sweating. I'm sweating and I don't like it. It is so ugh. And don't even and whenever I go to the gym and get on the treadmill, it's not even 5 minutes. I am just, there is sweat just coming off me, you know. So I mean that's post-hap anyways. So it makes me feel better whenever I sweat more when I'm working out, because I feel like I'm actually doing something, or you know. But this is, I feel bad because I haven't been doing my videos as much as what I want to be doing them. And like there's no excuse. I just have been taking my healing and working on myself extremely serious this last year, and especially even this year, I've been taking it extremely serious and listening to myself and taking the time to rest or go out and do what I need to do, instead of just coming out and posting videos that I may not even feel like coming on doing. And then you guys get to see, you know, somebody who doesn't even want to be doing this or in a bad mood or whatever. And like I said, I do want to be doing this. It's just, I don't want to force myself if I'm in a bad mood or if I'm unwell, or, you know what I mean? So this is the first time, you know, and what's, yeah, sorry if I do that a lot. Yeah, allergies, sickness, whatever. So, and this is, I say, because people always take things so way too serious, or are way too sensitive, or take things the wrong way. And that's why I clarify before I say things, because I don't want people to already make assumptions in their head. But I love my mom. I loved my mom. And my mom was a great mom. And of course, she did things that I didn't agree with and that I didn't think was right. But either way, at the end of the day, I love my mom. I always loved my mom. And that's always going to be a journey for me to have to heal within myself for things that happened since when I was born until my mom passed away. And I always say too that whatever I say doesn't mean that that's how all of my three brothers feel as well. I don't speak for anyone else that knows my mom and even my brothers, because they may have, obviously they will have had a different connection with my mom and got along differently with different things and all of that. So I'm only speaking for myself. I can't speak for anybody else. But my mom never taught me how to love myself. She never taught me how to love myself. She never taught me anything about how to make money or relationship with money. it was always more of, I saw the relationship with my parents and how they dealt with money. And there was a lot of things I disagree, but nonetheless, that was their decision and theirs to make, and not mine. But I was never really taught any of those things. And, my mom always talked down to herself. She always had issues with her body and her weight. And for a long time when we were children, she ate a lot. And, she was overweight. And when she did lose 100 pounds, this was back in like 2015, I think it was 2015, 16. She still talked down to herself. She still would point out every single flaw that she hated and didn't like about herself. And it didn't matter what any of us said to her, she would not take it in. She would then take that compliment and still bring out like a negative reaction to it, I guess. So if I would have said, oh, well, Mom, you lost a lot of weight, you look good, and no one's going to think or worry about that. And her response would be, well, that's not what I think about this, and that's not what so and so says, or so. And yeah, I don't really know how to explain it, but it was just, I realized a lot of things that my mom did to herself, said to herself, got put on me. And I realized I was doing a lot of that behavior. That's a lot of things that I've been kind of working on the last year, especially with my body. And like I said, there's times like, it's okay if you want to be conceited. It's okay sometimes to be like, if you want to look in the mirror and go, damn, I'm hot. Damn, I'm the baddest bitch. I'm fucking sexy. Who cares? Like, you're not going out and just, and even if you are, who cares? I mean, what is that hurting? Who are you hurting doing that? I mean, really. But I would do that, I would do that around my mom a lot. I'd be like, damn, I'm good looking. And my mom would kind of take offense to it a little bit, and would tell me that I'm conceited, and that, that's not good, that I do that, and that I need to be more humble, and just kind of a lot of times whenever I would be positive to myself or affirm it, my mom would remind me and knock me down with that. And that caused a lot of self-worth issues. And because it was really weird. My mom would be back and forth a lot. So she would do that, but then there was times where she would just be like, she would tell me I'm the most beautiful daughter that she has, that she's so lucky, and like she'll tell me all these things, but then I would be really confused, because it's like I get that validation, but then whenever I try to validate myself, she would put me down for that. So it caused a lot of confusion. And I started really looking into this, of figuring out what the hell is going on. And I know a lot of talk, especially on TikTok. This is the thing when people are talking about boomer parents, or even later Gen X, which is really Gen Y, because my parents are what, they're like 50. My mom was 53 when she passed, and so my dad's 55. So yeah, that's what they call Gen Y. So it's that, a lot of people are talking about this with their parents, where they just didn't they just did a lot, did a lot of trauma and not listen to them. And now that they're dealing with it, or that they don't want to talk to their parents anymore, or they're done with the toxic stuff, and that they're breaking generational curses or generation whatever's going on. And I did really start looking into it, and my mom would tell stories a lot about my mom would talk a lot of stories about her mom, and kind of how it was the same thing. It was kind of the same back and forth, like there but not there, and then not feeling validated but feeling validated. And I started to see the same thing that my mom did to me. I saw my mom do that with her mom. Okay, so how I tried to have this relationship with my mom later on, and try anything I could to get her to be proud of me, or feel accepted or validated or loved. I would try to do everything. I try to be the one that goes to go see her. I would be the one to go pay for everything, go, give her rides, go shopping, go anything. And I saw my mom do the same exact thing to her mom. And I saw the hurt that my mom talked about, with how she didn't feel like she was loved enough or cared enough, because there were things going on within that part of the family where my mama took more time with other grandkids than what she felt her kids, and which is valid. It's weird. So things like that. And real quick before I keep talking, because I'm gonna keep talking, not even do any of this. So I know I said I was gonna do the skeleton stuff. I already did this one, at least made a little bit of it. Doesn't it look cool? I think it looks cool. So I'm just gonna paint this one and just do the coat first, kind of let it dry, and see if I can at least do another coat of something. But then I'm gonna finish this off and try to do some other things after I'm done with painting this one. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to like paint this to show kind of a little bit of what I did with this one before I start moving forward with this one. But yeah, anyways, my mom has a lot of shit everywhere, and with art, and which is great because my mom did a lot of art shit, stamping stuff. And I just realized with the stamp inks that she had, I forgot that with stamping, once you have your ink, there is a pad that cleans the stamp out after you use it. And I completely forgot about this because it's been a long time. And so yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure that out. So a lot of this stuff she has that I have no idea the exact correct way to use it. So if any artists are watching, obviously this isn't the professional way to do some of this shit, but I don't really care. I'm just having fun with it. I'm just doing it. Okay. And so my mom has a bunch of this. What is this called? It's called glaze. And I think it's like an acrylic paint. So yeah, it's like this, it's this paint called glaze. And it's this acrylic paint. I don't really know if you're supposed to be if you can even use this, if really you're supposed to use this on this. But I liked the colors. So anyways, I did want to show real quick though. The color that you see here, like this bluish color, you know what's really cool is that this glaze crap or whatever, this paint, it's like, it looks white. And it is like a white color, but it is so pretty. It's this white, but has this blue tint to it. And then there's one that's called red opal. It's the same thing. It's white, but it has this like red tint to it. It is really pretty. And so with this one, I wanted to do the darker blue. And then I wanted to come in with a sponge later, do it with the aquamarine color, or at least maybe the soam. You know, I might do the aquamarine and then come in with the sea foam. So let me see real quick. I'm going to look at these colors again because I'm going to see which color I actually want to get. Oops. Okay, so see, that color is really pretty. Yeah, so I did this last week and I was going to do the video last week. I just got so freaking busy. And even though I want to choose this color, I want to paint with this color at least because I really like this color. And then I might even come in with the aquamarine instead of the green, but I'm going to somehow put the green color in. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. So while I'm painting this, I'm going to keep talking because, yeah. So I won't talk anymore about my general curses or whatever right now. So I wanted to talk about like quite a few things. And so anybody that knows me, like personally or has known me personally, knows that I love rock music, like rock, metal, hard rock, whatever. And what's funny is like the story behind all of that is, you know, because my parents loved 80s and all that. They were born in the 80s and well, really like teenagers in the 80s. And my parents both listened to and loved all of those artists, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, AC/DC, you know, yeah. So when my parents got married, I guess my mom decided that she wanted to raise us in a Baptist church. And so when that happened, yeah, we were raised strict Baptist, and we're told like any kind of music like that is kind of like of the devil. And yeah, you'll go to hell for that or whatever. Like you, like it's just a sin. It's not right to listen to that kind of music. And so my mom pretty much stopped listening to that music. She tried to get my dad to stop listening. My dad said that he listened to it anyways, like not when she's not around. And yeah, that's it. When we started moving past all of the, you know, Baptist stuff. When we moved to Arizona, I was in third grade. They just couldn't find a church. So then it just turned into, they stopped going and all of this shit. Anyways, that's whenever my mom's like true self finally came out. Like they were drinking again after stopped drinking for 16 years, which good for them that they did that. That's awesome that they even were able to do that, together. But they started drinking again. I'm not saying like become alcoholics. I'm just saying they were drinking again. My mom got a tattoo. They started listening to, and it's in the beginning, what happened was the first artist was Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi. And I remember listening to Bon Jovi and I was like, oh my gosh, like I was really into it. Well, actually, me and my three brothers were kind of all into it. And I was just, it was just different. I loved it. And so anyways, time went on and we moved back here to Oklahoma. I was in eighth grade. So I think it was like 12 or 13. And when I got to high school, I should have got some wipes for this. I didn't even think about it. When I got to high school, I met these two friends or two girls that were really into this type of music. And one of the girls, she knew this like new band coming in, and this band was called Crooked X, and they were from Coweta. And at this time, they were like 13, not even 13. No, they had to have been 13. So I think they were about 13 years old because I was about 15. And she's telling me about this band and showing me pictures. And she's like, you should definitely come and see them in a concert. And I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. So I, for the first time, went to go see this band, Crooked X, at a concert. And I was like, holy shit. It's like these guys got it. Like they have it. Like they're going somewhere. And that was kind of my time of, look how, that's pretty dark. That's pretty dark. I'm going to light it up though a little bit more. So that needs to dry. So while that's drying, see, I thought I was going to have a lot more to do with that, but I don't think I'm going to, because that's really going to have to dry a lot, and I don't have the time to have that dry. So I'm going to move all of this stuff over here real quick. I'm going to move all of this over here. Actually, I'm going to move these over here. Sorry. Yeah, and the reason too why I don't want to I do eventually want to get a camera and like edit, make picture better, like with my videos. But the reason why I don't want to like edit out anything in my videos is because nowadays, especially with TikTok and YouTube and everything else, I'm going to say like 98% of these influencers or podcasters, they edit out so much stuff, or they edit out things that you have no idea if that's really what was said or really what happened. Or, a lot of people do things where they edit and then put something else in there with that conversation, which that conversation didn't happen that way. And I do this because I want it as completely authentic and real, and that's it. There's no edit. There's no, I didn't, I said this. And then of course there's times where I get done with a video, I'm like, well, I could have said this thing better in this way or whatever, but who cares? Like, whatever. At that time, that's what I thought of. So yeah. So yeah, sorry with all of that. I'm moving that over. I should have got some wipes and I didn't even think about it. So yeah, back to this band Crooked X. So I was watching Crooked X and I was like, holy shit, these guys have something, like they're going somewhere. And that was a time too where a lot of people can't see me listening to like hard rock, metal, or even rock. Whenever I tell guys that listen to Avenged Sevenfold, they're just like, what? They're confused. They like it, but they're confused, that this is back. But yeah, started getting more into that kind of stuff during that time, which was, Avenged Sevenfold, Killswitch Engage, a lot of, literally everything. I was listening to a lot of that stuff. And this was back in the time too that Tulsa had D-Fest. I don't know if anybody knows what that is that doesn't live in Oklahoma, but D-Fest was this, it was downtown Tulsa. They had, I think it was for a few days, they had like just dozens of bands playing. And there would be different bands playing at the same time in different bars. So you could go into one of the bars downtown and Crooked X is playing. You go to the other bar right next to that bar and there's a different band playing. And so I thought that was really fucking cool. So, and it sucks that they got rid of that, but I loved going to concerts. And one of my favorite concerts too was with Ted Nugent. So Ted Nugent performed, and well, Crooked X performed first, and then it was Ted Nugent. But that was one of my favorite concerts. And Godsmack too is one of my favorite concerts. And then I just went to a concert last week, or was it last week, or was it the week before that? It was the week before that. So it was on the 17th. And that's where I went to Falling in Reverse. So who played? So the first one I played was Escape the Fate, which, if anybody knows or is a fan of Falling in Reverse and has known them for a while, like been a fan for a while, Ronnie, the main singer from Falling in Reverse, used to be the main. There's something in my eye. I'm so sorry. Used to be the main singer for Escape the Fate. But yeah, anyways, Escape the Fate played, Hollywood Undead, Falling in Reverse, and then Papa Roach. And so it was just a badass concert. Loved it. It was great. It was a really good concert. And the last concert that I went to before all that was the Godsmack concert. with my mom. That was back right after I had septic shock. And I actually still had pneumonia whenever I went to that concert with my mom. And I have a cousin that works in BOK. She's a bartender there. And luckily enough, sweetheart, that at that time she was working up in the suite area. And she lets us know that there's room up there and that we could come up there, because she knew that my mom was going through cancer and chemo at that time, and that I had just came out of it, almost died and just had septic shock, and I still had pneumonia. And, you know, she has us come up there, and I'm so thankful for that, because that is a memory I will forever keep with my mom. It's one of my last favorite memories with my mom was going to that Godsmack concert. And we both were sick. It's funny, we both were sick and not feeling well, but we both had 2 drinks, because it really doesn't take me very many drinks, because I don't really like to drink, and I don't really drink anyways. But I was told, well, you have pneumonia, you're not supposed to even drink. But I was like, you know what? I almost fucking died. I was like, I'm gonna have a drink. I'm gonna drink. And so I did. So, live life fucking full, So yeah, that was one of my favorite. Actually, I think that was probably one of my favorite concerts. I would say Godsmack was one of my favorite concerts. And that was also because of the situation with my mom and all of that. And yeah, the whole story of all of this, the whole story with all of this is with my brother, because at this time, my younger brother, Josh, I was 15? He was 9? No, he was 11. So yeah, I was 15, he was 11. And this was the time where he started picking up the guitar. He wanted to learn how to play guitar. And I knew pretty early on with Josh that he's going to go somewhere, because of the way how fast he picked up the guitar. I was just shocked. He just picked it up, and then I think it was 6 months later, he was off to a different, he was off people that have been playing for 3 years. He just has that gift, for that. But at that time, I was going to a lot of concerts, and then I was seeing Crooked X a lot, in concert and having fun and all of that. And I'll never forget is Josh would always make fun of me for going to see Crooked X. He would always make fun of me and tell me he would just make fun of me. And I would just, well, whatever. Because he never even saw them yet. So he never even saw them yet. And this was at the time MTV was actually filming them, because they were going to have a show. And they signed with Doc McGee or whatever. I think that's his name. And this was before all of this fell through. But I told Josh, I told him, I said, okay, I said, come to the show. This was when they were performing at Joe's Crab Shack, which was weirdly weird that they would be performing at Joe's Crab Shack and MTV was there to film it. It was very weird yes. And so I told Josh, I was like, okay, come see them at Joe's Crab Shack, watch them perform. Said MTV is going to be there, so watch them perform, And then I said, then you can make fun of me if you think that they're not that good or whatever. And excuse me. And so my mom takes them to Joe's Crab Shack. Well, I guess with me too. But It was right. And that got Josh going. That got Josh going with to this day. So, Josh, I need you to remember when you become all big and everything that I was the one. No, but really, like I played a part in that, and honestly, I love that. I love the story of that because that's how my family, me, my brothers, my dad, my mom, that's how all of us connect is with music, and we're all musically talented. We all played an instrument. We all done different things. But I've, like I said, I played the flute. I did cheerleading. I did dancing, which was my favorite. Jazz, ballet, tap, hip hop, kick line, modern, lyrical, whatever you want to call any of that. And my mom had all of her art business and everything. And yeah, it's crazy, So I keep pushing my brother. Though my brother is doing amazing though with what he's doing, and I am extremely proud of my brother because he is an amazing artist, amazing guitarist, and same with my other two brothers. Just because they're not doing something like that doesn't mean that they're not as equally amazing as my younger brother. Just me and Josh have always gotten along, I guess, the best, or we just always been the closest. And I don't know if it's because we were just had to share a room for like 10 years together. And that's why, but I don't even think that's it. I think because even after I had my own room, it's just me and Josh have always gotten along and similar. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, not saying I don't get along with my other two brothers. It's just me and him get along, better. So, yeah. So I had fun at the concert, and that was a good time. And that's really honestly things that I am going to start doing for myself. And this is a time right now where I'm really going to have to pick these videos up and start moving forward on what I'm going to really do. I know that my stories and the things that I've gone through can help a lot of people. And right now, I think that's what a lot of people need is someone who's kind of been through a lot and that keeps going, because I've been through a lot. Golly, I feel like I've been through it most of my life, but for the last 12 years, I've been through it like just one thing after another. And I feel like everything that happens in my life unexpectedly, where I think that it's going to be, I'm not going to say the end of me or the end of a lot of things, but I always kind of look towards negative or victimhood when things do happen, but I'm definitely learning to get out of that mindset. I have been in that mindset for a long, long, long time, too long. And I understand now why I lost a lot of friends in the past because of my negative behavior. And I'm not saying I was always negative or I was a bad person. I mean, because, well, technically we're all kind of bad. We all do things that are bad and good. So I just know I was not probably somebody to be around with that was all cheery and happy. But I also attracted people to me that did that back to me as well, where they would trauma dump on me, or I was the one that they would just come to, either trauma dump or to just give negative energy to and negative talk. And I am learning to I'm done with that. I'm done with that life. I'm done with that way of being. I've learned now that a lot of the things that have happened to me in the past have been because of my negative self-talk, not only to myself, but negative talk in general. And I also had that problem with posting negatively on Facebook and just sending that out. And I'm not saying, because that's the other thing, like with me, I love getting to astrology now. And like I said, I only use astrology as a tool to understand myself and understand others, but to understand things that I can work on with myself and to improve, and to see it as, okay, this could be going on, or this transit's rough, so this could be happening. But just because you could have a really bad transit does not mean that you couldn't have the best time of your life still during that time. So that's the way to look at it. I mean, anything bad can happen in your life, but you have to keep going. Like you can't sit there and sit in your negativity and expect anything to change in your life. And I get it, like, especially with grief and loss, which is hard, because my mom was what upgraded me. Honestly, my mom's death is what upgraded me to be this better version of myself, which is really weird that it took that for me to wake up to the things that I had been doing and the way that I've been. And like I said, I don't think I've been a bad person, because I feel like I've always been a really good person. I've always been that people pleaser, the one that everybody calls, like I said, to trauma dump on, or, hey, can you do this for me? Hey, I need a ride. Hey, I need money. Hey, I'm in this thing. I'm in this problem. Can you help me? Hey. It's just, and I'd always do it. Because I always want to be there for people. And I'm understanding now that it is totally okay to be there for people, but not to my expense anymore, of my energy and my time. And I don't have to do it if I don't want to do it. And that doesn't make me a bad person if I don't want to do something for someone, or if I have other things to do and I'm too busy that I don't do it. That is something that has been really hard for me to learn. And especially, this has all been revolved around childhood. And a lot of us, especially millennials and Gen Zs, are going through this time of healing themselves and going through things that have happened with them. And I don't want people to go into negative mindsets either. I understand if someone, whether it's family, loved ones, friends, whoever, have done you wrong, that you completely take them out of your life. And I'm mainly talking about family, because a lot of people say, well, I don't talk to my parents anymore because they did this or that or the other. And like I said, there's so many scenarios you can go through that you can't put everything in one scenario, or there's too many scenarios. But it really depends on what the person wants in their life. And if they want a relationship with their parents, if they don't. But that's what I dealt with. That's it. I'm just gonna say this because I've talked about this before, is I always wanted that relationship with my mom. I always knew I wanted that, like, really best friend relationship with my mom that you see on TV, where it's like they're just like this, you know. I always wanted that. And I kind of felt flip-floppy, and I felt like I couldn't be myself as a child with my mom. I couldn't speak up because if I did, you know, we get spankings or whatever. It wasn't something I could speak up on. And then when I became a teenager, the things that had happened around childhood and all of that, I felt angry. There was a lot of resentment for what my mom did. And I lashed out in a way that was probably not okay to do, but my parents allowed me to move to Arizona with my best friend, Nicole. And I lived with her for 6 months and came back. It wasn't until I was about 19, I realized if I truly wanted a true relationship with my mom, that you can't expect that person to put their foot first or do the work. If you have to do it yourself. And that goes for anything in life. Like, if you want to heal, anything, you got to do it yourself. You can't expect somebody else to do it for you. You can't expect somebody else to just hand you something and that you want. You know, it's just, I realized also that I have to accept my mom 100% for who she is. Even the things that I don't like or think that she definitely needs to work on to get better. But I realized that's not my job. That's not my job to tell her the things that she needs to work on or be better at. Mine was just to accept her 100% for who she is, no matter what. And I was just going to move forward with that. And trust me, in the beginning, it took years. It took years, but it took patience and years, because there was a lot of times I just didn't want to be near my mom because, you know, there's times she was doing this. I just didn't want to deal with it. But slowly and surely, something just happened. And I'm hoping that my mom, you know, I don't know what it was. And I think a lot of it too was my mom stopped being so, I guess, critical and judgmental and things like that. I think me being that way towards my mom and just not saying anything and accepting and being there, she then started to do that to me. And it changed. And then she became the person that I always went to talk to. I talked to her every day, you know. And then it's sad to say, I think, you know, we got on really good terms 2 years before she got cancer. And it was really also when she had got cancer that opened my eyes more to healing as well, towards I needed to go ahead and open up about the things that I felt she did wrong or anything. And I didn't ever want to think that she was going to die. I didn't never thought that she was going to pass. And even if I did, I thought maybe she had probably 10 more years, but I still put it in the back of my mind of just in case I needed to have that conversation with my mom. And I finally did. And I'm so glad that I had that conversation with my mom, because I was also scared that the conversation was going to be that she wasn't going to acknowledge what I was going to say, and that it was just going to be kind of one in one ear out the other. But surprisingly, it wasn't that way. It was actually positive and good. And I'm so glad I did this, because of that, I feel like I don't have anything else that is holding me from the past, because I brought that all up with my mom and everything in a conversation. And so just the only advice that I want to give people that are maybe going through any of that right now, or just having a hard time with any parent, is and if you're wanting a relationship with them, that you do have to accept them, because you want the same. You want the same for anybody else in your life, whether it's friends, family, loved ones, whatever. It's just, you want that person, anybody, to accept you for who you are completely, and not change you, and not try to do any of that or control anything in your life or any situation. And I encourage maybe to try that and see if that works. And sometimes, though, it's not going to be like that for everybody, and then you have to decide whether or not you want to continue to deal with that kind of behavior or that in your life. And if it's causing stress, if it's causing pain and hurt, then you probably need to consider what you want to do at that point. I can't tell somebody what they should be doing with their life, because I'm only living mine, and I'm not a therapist either. So, but just because I'm not a therapist doesn't mean that I don't know my own life experiences and can't, put my life experiences out there. And but yeah, it's been a weird month, because this was the month of the 1 year of my mom passing away. And then 10 days later was also when my papa passed away. So it's just been a lot. And then everything else that's been going on. And I know I have been saying I'm going to be doing more videos, and I'm going to be talking more and doing different stuff. And I know I literally just said I was going to do this, but I want to do another video tomorrow to do this, because I don't have time. I don't have any more time, because I want to go to the gym. And that's the other thing is, for most of my life, I've been that people pleaser, don't want to step on anybody's toes. And I put everybody else's needs and wants in front of mine. And I'm starting to put myself first. And that's been hard, because I'm not used to that. Like I said, I wasn't ever shown how to love myself, stuff with money, like putting myself first. I wasn't shown any of that. But also is the thing too, is now that we're all grown, like it's our responsibility now to fix these things within ourselves. And I can't blame, like I said, can't play victim, can't blame anybody, because that's the other thing is, it's been hard too, because there's a lot of things on TikTok about talking about parents, like I said, I was talking about parents, but also not even that. It's I look at it as it's hard because people always talk about is being a parent and breaking generational curses, and breaking bad patterns that happen, which, yes, is a good thing. But I feel like some people are way too obsessed with trying not to do or try not to allow that to happen to their kids, what happened to them. And people don't realize that it doesn't matter, even if you do break those patterns, that you're still setting up new patterns of wounds with your children. And people don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Nobody wants to hear the truth of it doesn't matter if you break those old patterns from your childhood, that you're bringing new patterns in for your children. Because we can't all act like our parents, they did this, that, and that. How dare them? Why are they like this? They caused all this trauma and this and that and that and that. But let me tell you, like my kids or anybody who has kids right now, because my kids are little, like what, 2, 4. They're gonna probably come out and say, why did the millennials do this, that, and that, and that? Because I'm telling you, every generation has problems and has things that needed work on. Same thing with us. It's going to happen. And it doesn't matter what you do. You can't shield your children from not getting hurt. And you can't be a perfect parent. You just can't. And I've let that go for myself. There's a lot of things, yes, I'm going to do differently than what my parents did, that I'm going to do with my children. But I know that I'm not going to be a perfect mom. And nobody can be. And nobody can be a perfect parent. No, just nobody can. You can't do everything perfectly, because the way that you view life is not going to be the same way that your child views it. End of story. The way that you say something, you had intentions of being positive. That's what you thought. You even knew it, but your child may have took it negatively, even if you knew that it wasn't that way. Just saying, everybody perceives the world differently because we're all different. We're not the same. We all have different emotions, act differently, like things differently. That's the whole point. We were never all meant to be the same. Because why? That would be boring. And yeah, just be boring. And then you couldn't argue. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I don't know what to tell people is you're gonna give your children wounds. But you know what? It's wounds that actually make you stronger as a person. The things that happen to you in your life, the ones that are the hurtful and more painful events and times, are the ones that actually make you and put you where you're supposed to be in the future. And I'm not saying everything that's happened to me was supposed to happen to me, because people can be mean. And people can be haters, be mean, whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't really care, because you're not living my life and you don't pay my bills. So whatever. I mean, it's just how it is. And I just hope that people understand that even though our parents did things, that it's our responsibility to heal ourselves and move forward and help others. And we just need more of a world of people helping and also helping themselves. So there's a lot of people that are so hurt because they haven't helped themselves first. And that's the whole point of this whole video. I kind of wanted to talk, spring it in, even though I brought in quite a few different things here, is don't feel guilty. If you want time to yourself, if you want to go to the gym, if you want to do something else, then hang out with that person, whatever. I mean, it took me a long time. Definitely took me a long time. But what I'm learning now is give myself more accountability to go for it. And I'm proud of myself. I'm going to just say this. I'm proud of myself for continuing to do these videos, because I'm already telling you, I have a problem with instant gratification. I'm already telling you. I don't know how many times I've already been like, okay, I'm not going to do these videos anymore because yeah. But my thing is I want to tell myself what I told myself last year when I started my videos. Like, I was going to do it for a year. I was going to do it for a year and just see what happens. And May 14th is when I started it last year. And I know it hasn't been the way that I've expected it to be or wanted it to be. But there's been so many things that have been happening in my life that are showing me how to handle things that have been coming up and what I need to work on. So yes, I'm going to be doing more videos. I know that it feels like timing just hasn't been on my side this last year, but there's a reason for that. And I just want people to know too, is just because it feels like something is not happening yet or going, doesn't mean that it's not going to. And doesn't mean that God doesn't have plans for you. Just keep going with what you're doing. If you feel so strongly in your heart that what you're doing is the right thing, and then there's no problem. Just keep going. Even when things are handed to you, handle those things, keep going. Because trust me, I'm telling you, I have been dealing with a lot. I feel like anytime I want to do a video, it gets thwarted because of outside things happening. But like I said, it's more of a way of how I need to keep healing myself. And this has been a year for me to definitely do that. And I feel like a completely different person than I was before my mom passed away. Like, I can't even explain it. I feel like a completely different person. I'm not the same person that I was. Like, I'm not, but in a good way. I'm just not the same. And so I encourage you all to keep pushing forward with whatever's going on in your life, because I know everybody deals with things differently. I know people are dealing with other things, but keep going, because you never know. You just never know. And you never know who's watching you. You never know who's seeing your post, or who's listening, or who's around you that you can bring light to that person, and that you can be maybe the key to help that person move forward, or anything. You can just be the light for whoever around you that is listening or watching, and you may not ever know, but just think about that and think about it that way. And so I do want to do, like I said, I do want to do another video tomorrow, because I did not even get what I wanted to do done, which I guess is good, because this is drying, and then I'm going to do a little bit more with this one, or I could wait till tomorrow and maybe do the other part tomorrow with that. I think that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I'm going to do this tomorrow, because I really want to do this, and I really want to do the video for all of this, because it's exciting and I want to do it. So anyways, I'll see you guys. Even though I'm going to film tomorrow, it's probably not going to be up till Wednesday, or it might even be Thursday. So I'm not even going to even say a day, because usually it doesn't happen. So, but yeah, this is happening though. I know it, because I want to get this done. I want to get this done. I don't want to get that necklace done, but I have to find a different something that can fit with that. That one's going to maybe take some time for me to finish that. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys have a good day. Be positive. Do good things. You got this. You got this. Have a good day, guys. Bye.